I was mentioning before that that Keir Starmer has been accused of being a bit boring, but maybe that is what UK voters want after the likes of Boris Johnson.
The mob in the UK would have voted for a carrot over the Conservatives because the Conservatives have let down the voters on the economy and keeping the border secure. So Sir Keir Starmer has done a great job of doing absolutely nothing. He gets 10 out of 10 for being a beige paper bag. He's locked up the left wing of his party, but this is a danger because no one knows what he stands for and no one knows what he's going to do for the UK.
James, we heard from Prime Minister Anthony Albanese before. He gave Keir Starmer an early congratulations, but we've been talking about the differences here between Labor in Australia and also Labor in the UK. The big difference that we're seeing between the two parties would be on nuclear energy. Sir Keir Starmer saying nuclear would be a critical part of his energy plan, but Australian Labor are fiercely opposed to it. How does a new Labor government with a large majority affect AUKUS as well, and also this debate around nuclear in Australia?
What do you see with the British Labor Party is that they actually are a pro-nuclear party, and Sir Keir and most of his shadow cabinet, now to be cabinet, are actually pretty pro-Australian. So that's a good thing. And I think you'll see them being pro-AUKUS. But it does show the difference that here in Australia, we've got a Labor Party who are happy to have nuclear-powered submarines and a nuclear reactor in Sydney, but don't want to have clean, reliable, net zero emissions nuclear energy for Australians. So there is a difference there, and I'd encourage the Australian Labor Party to look to their British cousins and see how nuclear energy, along with renewables like wind, is powering the British economy, and we need the same in Australia.
Now, with the Conservatives and the rise of Reform UK, we've seen and heard some commentary so far that Reform UK has really only risen in the past 4 years or so, and the fracturing of the Conservative vote, and perhaps that is a problem for the Conservatives in the future in their election prospects. Your comments on that?
Agree totally. And the thing about Nigel Farage, he's one of the most effective politicians of his generation, but he is a populist. And what he wants to do is he wants to destroy the British Conservative Party, and he wants his movement to become the main centre-right, actually more right-wing movement in the UK. I'm a proud supporter of the British Conservative Party, and the British Tories over 200 years have won many elections and they've lost many elections. They've been wiped out many times. But their core principles, if they return to them, are those which built the UK and which the mob are very happy to vote for. So if the British Tories return to looking after the economy, fixing up the borders and things like that, they will be around for another 200 years. We shouldn't forget that Nigel Farage had UKIP, which was a one-issue party. Then he went to another mob, and now he's with Reform. They are a one-issue party, and if you look at British history, if you look at what happened in the early 80s with the SDLP and that merger there, they were the great big threat to the Labor Party. They caused them pain for a bit, but eventually they sort of moved on as such. I think you'll see the same with the Reform movement.
Yeah, well, if we do see this record low vote, as the exit polls are saying, for the Conservatives, what are you expecting Rishi Sunak to do? You know, where do you think Rishi Sunak ends up in the end of things?
He's toast. He won't hang around. He's got to hold on to his seat first of all. But the main thing for the British Conservative Party will be who is left standing. So if they end up with 131 members, you need some big beasts to survive. So in '97, when they got wiped out, they lost people like Portillo. So you need the Penny Mordaunt's, you need people like that to stand for the leadership. Rishi Sunak's career in the British Commons is over.